Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are having a great day. So I talk a lot about drugstore makeup and affordable products. I love drugstore makeup. I think it's so nice that you can find really good quality products for less than $10 a lot of the time. But I also like a lot of high-end products too. I think I'm just a little bit more hesitant to recommend high-end favorites because if I'm recommending something between like $25 and $50, sometimes even more, I want to make sure it is like a tried and true favorite and the quality is there. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm sharing my number one favorite from 10 high-end brands. I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes to share with you guys, lip products, a couple of face products. I think I want to do my number one favorite from 10 skincare brands, and then I did a drugstore version not too long ago. I'll link that one in the description box below. I believe Jen Phelps was the creator of this video idea, so I'll link her channel in the description box below as well, but let's jump into it. I am wearing some of these products on my face today, so I think I'll start with those. Let's start with Urban Decay. I love a lot of Urban Decay products, and a lot of their products become staples in my collection, like the Perversion Liquid Liner, the 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencils, but I think my number one product from the brand would be the Urban Decay Naked Honey Eyeshadow Palette. I am wearing this today. I think I have one shadow from a ColourPop palette just kind of tapped all over the lid to make it a little bit more intense, but I just enjoy this. I think it performs so well, and whenever I want to do some sort of like golden eyeshadow look, this is the first palette that comes to mind because the palette is just very easy to work with. You get really blendable matte shadows and you get super vibrant, intense metallic shadows. You can reach into those center shades for something super intense or skip over them for something a little bit more toned down, but I just get so much use out of this palette. Originally, when this came out, I didn't think that I needed to add it to my collection because I felt like I had a lot of neutral palettes in my collection, and I do, but there's something about the undertones in here that are just so beautiful. I love this one for the summer, for the fall. It really is just one of my staple products, and I think it is my number one from Urban Decay. Although Naked Wild West is moving up on my list. I don't think I like it better than Naked Honey yet, but it is a very close second. I'll share another eyeshadow palette with you guys. If you watch my videos, you probably know that my number one favorite from Natasha Denona is the Bronze palette. I think this is my number one palette of all time. Whenever I use this palette, I just love how my makeup turns out. I never feel like it's lackluster or like it needs something extra. It just looks so good every single time, and this is such an effortless palette to use. You honestly get the most perfect blended smooth look without very much effort at all. The matte shadows are perfect. The shimmers are super intense and vibrant. I feel like I'm close to hitting pan on the shade True Bronze because I use it so much, but I just think it's such a pretty palette, and if you love warm tones and you like kind of like orangey neutrals and some red tones, I think you will love this palette. When people ask me like which Natasha Denona palette is actually worth the money, without a doubt, I always recommend this one. Now, if you like cool tones, this obviously probably won't appeal to you. You might like the Glam palette. I like that one almost as much, but there's just something about this one that is so special. I think it's like my number one high-end product of all time. Definitely my number one from Natasha Denona. I wanted to include the brand Tower 28. They don't have a ton of products on Sephora's website, and I've tried a few from the brand. I definitely want to try more, but the number one product that I've tried so far is definitely their Shine On Lip Jelly in the shade Cashew. So I think I've tried maybe like 4 or 5 shades because I did get a little holiday set, and honestly, I love all of them. I think they are all so pretty on the lips, but Cashew has just been my go-to because it's a really pretty kind of medium toned nude, but it is very sheer. So I think it looks great on its own if you just want a sheer wash of color, something that is very glossy and comfortable, but it's also nice on top of lipstick. I have been loving lip gloss so much over the past year, year and a half, and this really is my favorite formula. It's so comfortable, so easy to work with, and I just love the way that it looks and feels. So Cashew is my absolute favorite, but this formula in general is just so good, and I've really been enjoying this brand. I hope they release more products because I would love to see what else they could create. Another brand that's a little bit newer to me that I haven't necessarily tried a ton of products from is Kosas. I did pick up 3 of their products during the most recent Sephora VIB sale, and 2 of them didn't work out for me. I actually didn't love this product when I initially tried it either, but I have come to love it. It is an absolute daily staple for me. This is their concealer. I have the shade 03. So the reason why I bought this is because it sounded really appealing as an under eye concealer. I think it's supposed to have skincare benefits, and it's supposed to be very smooth and creamy and blendable, but I almost find it to be a little bit more mattifying. And I feel like I've heard the opposite thing from other people, so it's really interesting to me to hear whether or not people like this and how they like to use it. Because for me, I don't love it under the eyes. It doesn't look really smooth or hydrating, but I do love it as a spot concealer. It does have pretty good coverage and it blends out well, but then it locks down into place. So what I've been doing is priming my skin and then spot concealing and then going in with foundation. And I feel like that has been the perfect combination for me. I used to do that years ago and then I kind of switched the order and I would use foundation and then concealer. I have moved away from like super heavy, intense, full coverage foundations for everyday wear. I still like to wear them on occasion and sometimes when I'm filming YouTube videos, I'll wear them too. But the reason why I've done that is just because they feel very heavy and I don't feel like all of my skin needs that. So what I love about this is I'll spot conceal any areas that need that and then go in with more of a medium coverage foundation and I feel like I get the perfect finish. So you can add the coverage where you need it without feeling like you have to use something so heavy on your whole face. And this has just been really nice. It stays in place really well on my oily skin. It doesn't crease when I spot conceal, but weirdly enough, I just don't like it under the eyes very much. It doesn't look great under my eyes. So whatever the reason is, I'll take it because I've been using it quite a bit on the rest of my face and I've been enjoying it a lot. My number one favorite from Too Faced is also a concealer. I do like a lot of Too Faced products, like more of their staple line, like their powders, their concealers, their lip products. I wouldn't say any of their eyeshadow palettes are my absolute favorite right now, but I definitely use the Too Faced Born This Way concealer every single day. I have loved this for years. I use this under my eyes. It's very smooth, so blendable, and I do have a lot of under eye wrinkles. I deal with a lot of texture in general, and this is a very forgiving, very smoothing formula. It is a little bit more of a hydrating satin finish, but I think that's why I do like it under the eyes because if you apply something too matte, it almost enhances those wrinkles and fine lines even more, but this wears really well throughout the day. I also like using this as a foundation. I'll just kind of spot conceal and blend it all out and set it with a powder, especially if I'm in a hurry or if I'm kind of touching up my makeup. So if I apply my makeup and then I'm gone all day and then I'm coming back home at night before I leave again, what I'll typically do is remove the makeup around my nose, my chin, maybe like my forehead, anywhere where I'm super oily. I'll just take like a little bit of micellar water and take it off and then use this and quickly blend it out and set it with powder. And it looks like I took the time to just redo all of my makeup. That's not something I do all the time, but if I am in a hurry and I need to do like a quick touch up, this is perfect for that purpose. I just love it. It is so good and it definitely is my number one favorite. So I hope they never discontinue it because I don't think I've ever had a concealer that I like this much. My number one product from e.l.f. Cosmetics just in general would be their eyeshadow palettes. I really like their formula. If you are looking for like a super intense saturated formula, they generally do that with their palettes. I know their palettes can be a little bit hit and miss, but I have a few that I enjoy. My number one favorite is one that is no longer available, unfortunately, but I hope they bring it back because I know so many people have been asking for them to bring this collection back as a whole. This is the Muerte palette. I just think that this color story is so unique and different and beautiful. You get mint greens, you get royal blues, reds, you also get a really pretty highlight shade, and I just don't have anything like this in my collection. Even though I don't wear this palette all the time, when I do wear it, I always like how my look turns out because it is just so vibrant and intense and saturated, but it's still easy to work with. Sometimes when shadows are this intense, they're a little bit more difficult to blend out, but I just don't really have any issues with this palette. I always love how my look turns out, and it really is just one of the most interesting, beautiful palettes that I have. I almost wish that I bought the other one. They did like I think it was more of like a rainbow palette. I don't know that I would get as much use out of it, but when I do want like these super intense colors, this palette is perfect. Bite Beauty honestly makes the best lip products. I know they've kind of expanded over the past few years and done other products like mascara and foundation and powder, and I think most recently they did like cream blushes, but I still love their lip products. They originally started off as just like a lip product brand, and I miss their Amuse Bouche lipsticks. I hope they bring those back soon. I think they discontinued them a while ago, and then I'm assuming they meant to bring them back in maybe 2020, but the way that 2020 went, lip products didn't necessarily make a lot of sense for brands to continuously release. So I hope we see them in 2021. I mean, we're halfway through the year already. But in their place, I have been reaching for these a lot. These are definitely my number one from the brand. These are the Power Move Creamy Matte Lip Crayons. I've honestly been wearing these nonstop over the past 6 months. I think they came out with these or they had reformulated them and re-released them last spring. So I started wearing them, and then we were wearing masks everywhere and a lot of my lip products got neglected. But even when I've been at home and I've been doing like Zoom calls or FaceTiming people and I just want to wear a lipstick because I've missed lipstick, these are perfect. And now as life returns back to normal, you know, to some extent, I feel like I have been wearing more lip products, and I love these because they're very, very comfortable. They are really creamy, but they stay in place pretty well for like a non-liquid lipstick formula. It's not like they completely dry down and lock into place, but they are pretty long lasting, and they're not smudge proof, not transfer proof, but again, they just kind of grip onto the lips. They look so beautiful, extremely smooth, and they just have the prettiest colors. So this is definitely my #1 lip product from Bite Beauty. It's probably been like my #1 lipstick formula of the year. I just can't get enough of it. Another formula that I kind of rediscovered recently is just the Buxom full-on plumping lip polishes and lip creams. They have two different formulas. They have more of like a sheer shimmery formula, which would be their lip polishes, and then more of like an opaque formula, which would be their lip creams. Those don't have actual shimmer in them. I kind of went back and forth between Buxom's lip products and their blushes because their blushes are so gorgeous as well. And I feel like they're kind of tied in my mind, but for years and years, I've loved the Buxom lip glosses. They're just one of my favorites. It is one of the high-end lip gloss formulas that I actually think is worth the money. There are a lot of lip glosses out there from drugstore brands that are really good, but lately I've been enjoying this one because I feel like it just lasts on the lips a little bit longer. I used to say these weren't sticky at all, but I almost feel like they have a slight stickiness or tackiness to them, but not in a bad way. They have like a glossy finish, but they have a little bit of a grip to them. So I do feel like they last on the lips pretty well when you want more of a long-lasting lip gloss that's not uncomfortable. They also have like a little bit of that plumping aspect to them, so they will give your lips a tingly feel. They're very smoothing, but I just love them, and they have the best shade range when it comes to lip glosses. They have a ton of them, so I really think you'll be able to find your go-to shade if you are looking for a really nice gloss. I used to love Smashbox, and I kind of miss the old Smashbox because I feel like they used to release really beautiful, interesting collections, and I don't know where they've been over the past few years. I'm sure they're still releasing products, but I feel like for me personally, they haven't caught my attention in a little while. But I do feel like they do primers extremely well. So if you're just looking for some good staple primers, Smashbox probably has one that works well for you. After all these years, I still love the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. I have found a few drugstore alternatives that work really well. There's one from Catrice that basically feels the exact same on the skin, but I've had this one in my collection because from time to time I can get it on sale and I repurchase it, and it really just makes such a difference. I've actually been using this almost every single day lately because in the morning I'll do my skincare, and then sometimes it will be a few hours before I actually apply my makeup and film a video or go somewhere. So I love using this just to kind of refresh my skin and make it feel really moisturized before I go in with makeup products. Sometimes I'll even pair it with a mattifying primer, which sounds kind of counterintuitive, but I feel like they pair well together because if my base is really hydrated, I can just take that mattifying primer in very specific areas like my T-zone, and the rest of my skin is really balanced and makeup just applies so beautifully. This really is such a gorgeous primer. It feels like a liquidy, watery primer, but it really makes a difference. It preps my skin so well for makeup application, and I've repurchased it for years and years. You can get a smaller version, which is actually a better deal, price per ounce, so I'll link that in the description box below if you want to try it out. But it's definitely my #1 favorite from them. I still think it's so good. I do like quite a few products from Fenty, but my #1 has not changed. I've always loved their gloss bombs. I think they are so beautiful, and it's just my #1 lip gloss of all time. I could honestly declutter all of my lip glosses, which I don't want to do because right now I'm just in love with lip gloss, but if I had to declutter all of them and keep one, I would keep the Fenty gloss bombs, specifically the shade Hot Chocolate. I feel like I'm getting close to using this up, which is so crazy to me because I feel like it takes forever to go through gloss, but I have used up a Fenty gloss before, and I just think it's funny because, I mean, over the past year, year and a half, we haven't been wearing lip products as much, but when I do get the option to wear them, this is one of my go-tos. I just love the color, I love the formula, so out of all of the Fenty products I've tried, this is my #1, even over the Pro Filter foundation, which I love. I'm wearing that today mixed with the ColourPop foundation. I still have to go with this because it's so good. So those are my #1 products from 10 high-end brands. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I will link the drugstore version of this video on the screen for you in case you guys want to check it out. I would love to hear from you. Let me know what your #1 products are from some of your favorite high-end brands. You can let me know in the comments. I would love to see you film this video or do a post on Instagram. Tag me if you guys want to so I can check it out. But I hope you have a great day. I'll see you guys very soon with a new video. Bye.